Luma AI just released a ton of updates in their Dream Machine. The big takeaway, there is a lot more focus on visual creation and ideation without having to deal with text prompting. Oh my God. What, what is this? So we're going to dig into all the new features, including boards, Brainstorm, Reply, and consistent character inputs, plus a whole bunch more. So let's jump into it. All right, so let's jump into the new features. The main big thing is boards, and there's a lot of new structure built around this idea of boards and what you can do with boards. And so digging around a little bit, boards are kind of a flow for either a single visual or just sort of brainstorming visual concepts around some idea you've got, video, project, something, so you can make a board. So let's head over to the board section, and we'll click the plus button. And then there's a lot of prompting, there's a lot of additional tools to help you kind of navigate what you want to do. A little bit of hand holding, but it's helpful to kind of guide you. And sort of a big focus that will be a recurring theme here is there are a lot of tools to help you create things without being a great prompter. So these are some sort of prompt suggestions, but these actually tie into some of the new prompt options that we have, which I'll dive into in a second. So you can start with one of their starting points, or you can enter a prompt down here and go over some of the options. All right, so let's just click one of their starting prompts. And so this is text to image. So this is actually brand new, because before with Luma, it was a video generation model. It was either you give it an input image and it can turn it into a video, or you can give it a start and end frame, it can turn it into a video, or a text to video. But now they have a text to image or an image to image and some other image remix tool. So that is a big update. And so as we can see here, we've got the starting point for our backpack. The cool thing with boards is every time you enter a prompt, it gives you 4 image generations. So you got options. And so then we've got our prompt here, and we've got these little clicky things. And so they call these concept pills. And so the idea is it just helps you generate more ideas in prompting and creating new prompts. And the idea with this too is you could start with a very simple basic prompt and let Luma AI help you generate more ideas and get better outputs without having to be a prompt expert. So let's say we wanted to make it a futuristic duffel bag with metallic trim. And as you might have noticed, every time I do click, it does start generating with whatever it was at the time. Depending on your plan, that could be kind of annoying if you didn't want to start generating new ideas every single time. So be aware of that. And then also you can see up here too, it already named our board backpack design. So the idea of this board is we're trying to brainstorm and figure out a backpack. And this is where we would do it. So I can scroll back and I can kind of see this timeline of my different generations. And again, each one of these was when I clicked on it. And then we can click up here and kind of get a better view. I'm just scrolling side to side. This is actually very responsive. And the closest thing I've seen to the sort of interface is Midjourney, which has a very responsive, infinite kind of scroll. So this is very cool. And then I can always just click back out here. And then you'll see that, so we've got some options. So let's start up here. We've got show more, which would just be generate more ideas. And then we got Brainstorm. So this is another new feature. And so I believe the idea with Brainstorm is it takes the image generations that you have made and it uses that as sort of a visual input to create new things. So here we can see it is remixing or repurposing or remixing the inputs that we've given. I don't know if it's just taking the text prompts and coming up with new text prompts, or if it's taking the actual images. We'll experiment with that in a second. All right, so let's say we want a cyberpunk one. Okay, so it generated a new text prompt for us based on the, not 100% sure yet, not if it's sure if it's taking the images that we gave it, or if it is taking just the text prompts that we gave it. But this is a cool feature. Again, same theme here, creating ideas, creating prompts, or creating ideas, creating generations without having to be a good text prompter. So we just made some new futuristic duffel bags with a cyberpunk vibe. And it seems like Brainstorm just made a new board for us. Interesting. Okay, so, or is it my backpack Brainstorm? And now I'm trying to go in the futuristic duffel bag Brainstorm. But it seems like it says my ideas are here. Oh, I have to scroll up. Okay, this is a bit of a weird UI. Okay, so the prompts, every time we modify the prompts, it's a left to right navigation. And then when we kind of branch off, it's a up-down navigation. to get to our new ideas. Okay, interesting. Be aware of that. And then the other thing we have is reply. And my understanding, reply is a bit like style transfer. So we give it the image, but we say, okay, we want to modify something specific about that. So let me say, so it's taking these, it is taking our input images, and let me say, I want them to be displayed on the beach. And so let's see what that does. And so, yeah, it definitely honored and put them on the beach. I don't know which, I took the original images, so I don't quite see. Let's see. We've got like a big neon bag. Okay, so it took liberty in modifying the bags, but it definitely took the same spirit of the duffel bags we had and put them on the beach. So not exactly like a perfect style transfer, but still good. Same idea. You can give it input images, have it modify them, and create some sort of new version of that without having to do much prompting. Oh, and here are my input images. Reply, let's see, orange bag. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have really honored any of the specifics, but I don't really know if that's the point of it. Let's see if we reply again. Okay, so yeah, reply is we're going to give it input images and you can modify it. So sort of a style transfer-ish. All right, and another cool thing that is added now into Luma is if we click on the settings tab down here, we now have aspect ratio controls over how we want our images or videos to display, everything from vertical to super horizontal, panoramic. So I'm just going to keep it on 16:9, but it's also nice that it defaults to 16:9 because a lot of them default to 1:1 because that uses less pixels, less generation. So it's cool that they default to 16:9. And now the other thing is if we click on the image, you'll notice that we have options on the bottom. We saw these same options here too as we hover over each image. We have options here. So we can modify image. We could take this image, turn it into a video, use this image as a reference, or generate more images like this, or download it. So let's go over here. I'm going to say modify the single image and say, put the bags on the moon. And then it created a new chain going up, down. And while that's going, I'll say make a video as well. And this is giving it as our start frame. And you still have your same camera control that they introduced in, I think, Luma 1.6, where if you want to start typing in camera movements, you can. I'll go over that in a second. So I'll have it start generating the video. And then we can go here and see that in this case, with the single image, it actually did a really good job of honoring the same exact, pretty similar shape, positioning, colors of the bags and putting them on the moon. So it's actually a pretty good remix of giving the input, maintaining consistency, but putting it in another location, following the prompt. On the moon city. Did I say city? I don't know if I said city. We'll say put the bags on a steampunk city. All right, and then we've got our video thing here. Cool, gave us two options, so let's see. And I said pull out, which it is honoring. It is making up some other bags, but that's cool. And pretty good video generation. It pulled out of the bags, and we have a pretty consistent scene with a beach. And then similar options that we would have in Luma. You can extend the video, you can modify this video, or you could create more like it. Let's see what happens if I modify the video. Let's say put the bags in the desert. I don't think you were previously able to modify a video in the previous version of Luma. I think you could only extend a video. So this is a cool new option as well, where you can give the video as an input and modify it. Let's see how well it honors the bag. This is actually kind of interesting how the reply, I said put the bags in the desert, and the reply understands the desert and says let's move the bags to the sandy dunes. So that's cool that it definitely understands your context of what you're asking and replies back in a way that kind of confirms that it understood at least the text version, the text model. Let's see how the video model does. So this totally changed the bags, and this changed the bags and kept them on a beach. And this totally changed the bags and put them on a psychedelic desert. Now let me try this prompt in the, let's put it in a canyon. So we'll see how that goes. All right, and now we are trying to go into a canyon, and it kept them on the same sandy beach. All right, we'll revisit video remixing in the future. I still want to jump into more things about prompts that I thought were interesting and the different types of prompts, but the one thing I want to end on in the boards feature is you do also have the ability to share the board, which I think is cool for this idea of brainstorming, concept generation. You want to, share your ideas with other people. So you can make a public share link of your board, and you can also stop sharing it if you want. And then let's see what it does. Okay, so it gives a thread of your prompts and kind of same image scroll. So it's basically a public version of what we just went through, of our chain of the boards, the images, all of that. I will say I do wish maybe it's coming that there were some collaborative features where you could have other people contribute to the board. And also if there's a bit more visual options for curating your picks. So you could always dig in. I believe you can delete images. Yeah, so we could delete an image from here if we wanted to. I don't like deleting stuff. I kind of want to keep it, but I wish there was a way to sort of curate our selections. If we do share the board with someone, we could better display them, the images that we like, and also arrange them, something kind of like a whimsical or a mural, which I get is a completely separate project. But since we have the share link, I'm just throwing it out there. It'd be cool to be able to curate and add some more guidance to how we want to share these boards with other people. Okay, so boards, very cool. Let's make a new board. Let me try a new board. I'm going to give it one of my own images. So the one thing I want to point out is you have new options in the prompting area. So we have our traditional, if you load this up, if you used Luma before, this is sort of what the original interface looks like. You can give it a start frame. You can add an end frame if you want to try to create a start and camera movement. And then you can give it some prompting if you want. But now here we have this drop down, which is new. And so keyframes is what we are traditionally used to. But then we have modify, which is that sort of style transfer, style remix thing where you can give it an image and have it modify. So let's say, make it cyberpunk. So we'll see how it runs with that. And then let me load that image in again. And this won't be that useful, but we can give it a reference. And this is where we would do the character creation, the character reference, which I'll jump into in a second. And you can also tag style. So if we say style cyberpunk, I don't know how this, let's see how this behaves differently from what we just did. I watched the videos, this is all new, but still a little bit figuring out. And also their lingo is a little different. So even though we've been calling things like style transfer, where if we want to keep the shape and everything kind of consistent, they have a different name for that. And I don't remember which one is Brainstorm, which one is Reply, which one is style reference. So their lingo is a little bit different from other AI tools that we have kind of gotten used to. Other thing, there really aren't any weight settings, when we might be used to with other image generators like Midjourney or Ideogram. As you can see, the only settings are the aspect ratio, which is great, but it is pretty much what you see is what you get with your settings. So this was modify, so make it cyberpunk. It's got the fun vibe. Okay, and so this definitely kept, this would be, I would say, more like a style transfer. It kept the shape, it kept the framing, and it understood it was a clock, and it made it more cyberpunk. So this is a very good style transfer. And then this was the reference. And so this, I would say, it kept the vibe of the image, so sort of like a reference image, which makes sense, using that image as a style reference and then creating something new. So let's say if I did that again, and I'm not 100% sure if you have to tag it with style every time if you want to make it a clock, but let's say a dark, moody alley. Alley, yeah, that's how I spell alley, I think. Let me see what happens if I do it without without a style tag. Okay, so without the style tag, it really tried to do more of a style transfer, kind of like the reference one that we initially did. So really tried to keep the framing-ish, tried to keep the clock. But when we added the style tag, that definitely kept the style, kept the sort of steampunk style, but honored what our prompt was and what we wanted, which was create a dark, moody alley. Some of these are not, I would argue, are not alleys, but it kept the vibe more. Let me try one of their other suggestions. All right, and then trying this other kind of prompt with the style tag, dark mystical corridor, it still kept the steampunk vibe of our source image, kind of kept that style, and then honored by creating our ancient mystical corridor. So cool, good to know that style tag is actually really cool. And then let's go over character creation, because that's going to be a fun thing to do. Actually, one thing though, I do want to try something while we go over there. I do want to make this a video. Sweet. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that is cool. All right. I just was like, let's see if it actually does it. So if I wanted to make a move, when you click the image and say make a video, it adds that as a start frame. But as you just saw, I can drag one of my other frames. If I'm like, these are two cool frames, and turn that into a video. So let's see what happens if I give that. And there's one other thing I want to try, which I saw Kiri, who was in our Cinema Synthetica documentary and is also now Luma's, I don't know what her official title is, evangelist, spokesperson, PR rep, awesome AI representative. She posted a cool tip that I want to try, which I think would also be a game changer for some of the amount of control you could have over videos that you create. All right, so let's see this corridor first, or this one animated shot. Okay, so I mean, I did give it not the greatest input. It start and end frames that are a bit tricky. That's what's good. Yeah, I was thinking something kind of pushing in. Okay, weird, but it works for this case. And so what I do want to do with this is take this video and then say extend. And so this is cool because now you have the extended video, but as you can see, I think this is new. You can add another end frame. So in theory, if you have a sequence of keyframes that you want, and you want to try to kind of animate a video but have it a single take and hit specific spots, you could do that now with this and have it hit specific points in the same video. So keep extending the video, but give it new targets. So let's try going crazy and give it this. I also love that I could just drag and drop these images from the board. That's an surprisingly simple but cool feature without having to keep downloading and uploading stuff, because that's a big pain in the butt. Obviously, if you want to try to do multiple keyframes in a video, you could just give your start and end frame, make that video, export it, and then take your end frame, make that the new start frame, and then export it. I've tried that, but sometimes it doesn't look very flowy because you're making separate videos, and so it doesn't understand the context of the entire video. I don't know if it's going to do better with this. So we've got our floating, flying shot through the thing there, and in their defense, I gave it very weird input images, but this felt a bit more consistent. Like it feels like the camera movement and the speed, because I know the end shot here, this was the end, and then it keeps moving and going. So it seems like it does understand the context of the entire video, which is very cool and which solves a lot of issues if you're trying to make longer takes with multiple keyframes and have that consistency without having it be like, oh, this is one clip and then it stops, and then we're generating a whole new thing. We have no understanding or no idea of what happened in the clip in the few seconds before this shot. I hope that makes sense. I think this is very cool and a very good trick if you are trying to make complicated shots and hit specific points in those shots. Obviously, give it better input images. I'm doing this on the fly with some tricky images, but this is still very, very impressive. Look at that speed. Speed stays the same. That's awesome. Okay, so boards, images, style reference. Gets a lot of features, a lot of things going on here. All right, and now let's talk about characters. So make a new board. You can load up their default characters and say, you should wear a red jacket. But let's clear that out. And let me try it with me. So these are some pics of me that I used to train Alora. Okay, we'll give it this one. Okay, and so you got to use the character tag, or let's say in a space suit on the moon. All right. And it should default, because we click character, to reference, and the tag works here, but just FYI, it's got to be reference because we're giving it that reference image and using it as the reference. And so this is supposed to take the face and honor it as a character and keep the face character, put it in your prompt. Obviously, I used an image of myself, but if you have generated character, you generate a character sheet using Midjourney or Luma or something, and then you can give it that character info without. All right, some of these are actually impressive. You can give that character info repeatedly to have a consistent character and create your shots. A little bit animated, but freakishly kind of looks like me. I would die because I don't have a space helmet on. Interesting that none of these created helmets. They just want to kill me. So wait, if I'm already here, show more replies. So wait, what up? Ceremonial cosmic robe. Yeah, put me on the rings of Saturn. Let's see how that is in a cosmic robe. All right, so if you want to generate more with yourself, and I don't want to have to re-upload the image, would I reply? I killed it. It is my lunar journey, yes. Oh my God. What, what is this? This is possibly the craziest image generation that I've made yet so far. What is that? Looks like something from Superman 2. Oh my God. If I start a cult, this will be the poster image. All right, still dreaming on these. Dream away. All right, so this does seem a bit annoying. Oh, okay, cool. You can just click on it. Awesome, great. So I can click on that if I wanted to. I just saw Gladiator 2, so I'm going to say it is a gladiator fighting in the no, crap. I don't. Yeah, that's not it. Colosseum. Scared of what this is going to look like. Okay, so given one image, pretty good for one image. I did train the lore on like 20 images, and I got some pretty good results out of that. And sometimes I got some pretty crap results out of that. So from one image for this, impressive. Transporting to ancient Rome's epic battles. Oh my God. I hope you're entertained, because I am entertained. All right, one image, pretty good job. It's got the uncanny valley, but it kind of looks like me. I'd be curious. I don't want to go do a whole deep dive into like how much it honors the prompting, and this is a very basic prompt, but the next question would be, okay, if we can get consistent characters in here, we want to have, pretty good control over the framing. And they do have camera controls if you're turning this into a video, but you need to have a good image to start with. So potentially other future video, like how much will it honor if we start saying, okay, you want this character with a low angle, with a medium shot, looking camera left, how much control and how will it honor if we do get more specific prompts to put our character in a very specific framing. Future topic, but very interesting with right now, and very interesting what you can do with one image. The last thing that I wanted to mess around with the boards was the Brainstorm, and kind of give it a little bit more of a pressure test of what exactly is Brainstorm doing, are the Brainstorms doing. So let me give it a couple of images that have similar vibes. Here, I got a bunch of diner images from our diner project. That was an AWS Culver Cup finalist. Okay, so I give it these. Maybe Brainstorm only once you load the prompt up. Okay, so a couple images, similar vibe, people in diner, no prompt. I don't know what it's going to do with this because I didn't tell it to do anything. I gave it as a reference. All right, it understood that it is a retro diner from these images. So this has 0 text input, 0 prompt. Okay, gave me very similar looking character, but it kept the whole same vibe of the diner. And then if we say Brainstorm, damn, that's crazy. Okay, so I'm more convinced now that Brainstorm is looking at the visuals of your existing images that you have in your board and is giving you new ideas, new prompts based on. It seems like it's actually branching out into a couple of vibes. So it's giving us the diner scene vibe. You want to explore more ideas with the diner. I recognize we have these like isolated characters. So do you want to explore these aspects of the character or the lighting. Oh, golden hour. Oh, that's very interesting. This might be one of the coolest features here, because in the more ideation phase, brainstorming, visual thing, we've got Mid-Journey, and like a big hack with that is like crank up the chaos, crank up the stylize, crank them all up, see what crazy stuff you get. Here, this is understanding the ideas of your images that you're giving it. Okay, this is just giving me, okay, so it's generating a text prompt from that, but let me say, I want to do another one. Let's do an Ed Hopper. A scene inspired by, okay. And so then now I'm curious too, is this just generating a text, generating scene utilizing golden hour and infused retro diner with a nostalgic warm glow? So it doesn't seem like it's honoring anything at all with our previous images. It is just looking to those images, creating ideas, creating detailed prompts, and then letting you run away with it, which is cool. This is great. This is great for brainstorming, and great where it's like, okay, you don't have to think of cool you don't have to think of detailed prompts, and then clicking on their concept pills and generating new ideas and new creations. And as you can see, I am like probably rambling and going on too long right now, but it is kind of a rabbit hole, and it is kind of fun to just kind of click and see what happens. And medieval grandeur, and this is just kind of fun to just kind of see what rabbit holes these go down. Yeah, very warm, very nostalgic, very cool. All right, actually, while this is rendering or generating, I'm gonna jump over to the other thing, and then it'll actually, these will tie together. So big thing that we've structured this entire video around, boards. Boards is this new big sort of hub, central point of Luma's Dream Machine. But what if you're like, what about my old system? I like my old, system of just seeing all of my generations in one big giant view. Over here, you still got that. It is now called Ideas. And as you can see, it is everything that we have already generated across all of the boards are in this one spot where we can see. This is a little bit better than what we had before with Luma. Luma was probably had the worst like navigation UI-ish out of kind of the big generators. You couldn't really organize your stuff. You couldn't mark it as favorites. You couldn't. It was hard to find stuff, and if you had to redo stuff, you would have to like re-upload your images every time. You couldn't like just click or regenerate. So the system, it is better. Still, I feel like it's lacking. Like, what if I wanted to add one of these images to a board? I feel like there could still be more tools for better sorting and organizing your generations, or even just a favorite feature, because those are always great, because then you can just click favorite, and then at least you can come back to it later and clear out all of your other generations that you don't care about as much. You can filter by videos or images on the top, but besides that, I wish there are still a couple more organizational tools that would be nice to see. That is pretty much it. This is a big overview. They really put in a bunch of new features, a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of awesome stuff for just brainstorming, idea generation. So really cool to see this from Luma. There's always some crazy new AI update all the time. So that's what we're trying to keep up with. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know what you think about Luma and how you're going to use this in your workflow. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.